How do you know if your financial advisor is a bad fit for you? Are there some red flags you should be on the lookout for? This week, we're going to discuss a few that you might want to keep on your radar. Welcome into Phil's Tax Hacks and Other Retirement Facts with CPA and personal financial specialist, Phil Putney. Now let's get rolling with today's show. Hey everybody, welcome into the podcast. This is Phil's Tax Hacks and Other Retirement Facts with the one and only Phil Putney and myself, Mark Killian, here to hopefully shine a light on some red flags, Phil, that you might want to be on the lookout for if you're shopping for a financial professional, right?
Yep.
We could probably list like 20, but we'll just do 5.
There's a lot, so.
But we'll just do 5 to kind of keep it short and sweet for now. You doing all right this week?
Doing good.
Very good. Very good to hear. We are winding down the month, so holiday season is upon us.
It's around the corner. It's crazy. So
yeah, I know, man. The year's gone.
Before you know, the year's over. Yep.
That's right. So while you're waiting for the turkey thermometer to pop or whatever it is that you're doing, maybe check out these red flags that you might want to avoid should you be in the market for a new or the first time you're working with a financial professional. The one size fits all approach. We'll just start there because it's pretty common, Phil. A lot of big box firms do offer these kind of, hey, come on in. We've got this thing. You know, it works great for so many of our clients. We're going to pop you right into that. And that's going to, check all the boxes. Maybe, but I mean, you're not the same person that was there an hour before. That was a different person,
Right. I mean, and that's the unique thing in retirement. I always tell clients, look, it's, individuals in retirement are kind of like a fingerprint, right? They all look the same, right? Everyone has one.
Yeah.
Going into retirement, everyone has income. They're going to pay taxes. They have assets that they've accumulated, but how you build those out together for that person could be different than the other.
Yeah. It's not till you use the microscope that the fingerprint looks different.
Right. And, the same thing happens here. I mean, you've got to have your unique strategy for you because your scenario, it's going to have a lot of similarities to your neighbor, your colleague, whoever that you're talking to, but it's not going to be exactly the same because your scenario looks different than theirs. So that's really where the key comes in of having this custom, so to speak, plan to you that's going to take into account a lot of the same things. So I mean, if you go meet with an advisor and, everything is, the answer is this one product that they're selling. They'll say an annuity, right? Nothing wrong with annuities. I use them for the right scenario. It makes a lot of sense, but it's not the right answer for every scenario.
Right. Right.
The old adage, I mean, can you drive a nail with a hammer and a screwdriver? Well, yeah, either one, but I mean, you're going to get a better result if you use the hammer, the right tool for the problem. So.
Yeah, I mean, you could use the monkey wrench and turn it sideways, but it's not going to be as effective as using a hammer, right?
Right.
So yeah, you gotta have to your point, all the universal things do affect us all, but how it kind of breaks down into the individual situation is going to be a little bit different. So again, I remember I was going to say, Phil, I was thinking about this while you were talking. You've been doing this long enough, right? That I'm sure that the reality is if somebody new comes in the door and they sit down in front of you and they give you some of their information, you probably could make a recommendation in that first hour meeting. Right? You've been doing this long enough.
We can get it in the ballpark. Right.
But you don't because you're going to learn more. You want to get more details just because of the experience. Like if you go into your car mechanic, they can probably hear what's going on in 5 minutes and be like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I know what the problem is. But a good one's going to take the time to truly diagnose it and make sure they're fixing the right problem. Right.
Well, and this is where the challenge comes in that because, to that point of the mechanic, well, I've heard this before. It's going to be this. Well, it could be, but it could be this too. And that's for me as an advisor, something that I have to be careful with of truly listening to the client because, if I get in there, I've heard this before and here's what we're going to do. Well, wait a minute, maybe, but maybe not. Let's walk through their scenario to really find out what are you trying to accomplish? What is your wishes and dreams and goals? Where are your assets positioned? Let's work through your specific details. Yeah, and I've got a lot of background and experience and understanding and knowledge in this area that I can use to then apply to those specific situations. And it may look very similar to what I've done for somebody else. It might be almost the same. But that's, because your situations are very similar. So that's where it comes down to taking the time first to understand your scenario.
Well, and not to be mean to people in this other category, but that's where always being, and this is red flag number two, always being in sales mode is
Yep.
maybe not is a red flag, right?
Yep.
Because that person say may have experience, but go, yeah, I can sell this person on this product because I've seen it 100 times, but
Right.
maybe that product really isn't what they need, right? Yeah,
Well,
it could work, but it's maybe not ideal.
well, and this is where, a lot of times, again, as a consumer, you might not understand or know the difference. But, I've heard from prospects before, well, I've got my advisor has given me a quote unquote financial plan.
Hmm.
And as we walk through it, it's like, well, wait a minute. No, this isn't a financial plan. This is a sales presentation.
Right.
If your financial plan ends with a product, well, is it really a financial plan or was it just a sales presentation to sell you that product?
To get to the product, yeah.
Right. I mean, you have to me, the way we approach it, the financial plan has nothing to do with products. It's like building a house, right? Let's have the discussion and build the blueprint of your retirement first, that roadmap. Now let's talk about product, because now that we understand what we're trying to do, well, then products are important.
Yeah.
And that's how we make the plan work.
Now wood studs versus metal studs are the conversation piece, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But if I lead in to say, well, we're doing this, yeah, and this is the answer. Well, then did I really get a true financial plan? Because, or was it just they were trying to sell me on the product and this is the avenue to get there?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. You going 2x4s, you going 2x6s, right? I mean, now
right,
you're getting more into it. You're using a 2x4 at some point, but what size are you using, right? So,
right.
you
So, I mean, if
break
I got a boatload of 2x4s, or I'm getting paid more to sell 2x4s, well, my plan's going to sell you 2x4s. Well,
that's right. I got a good deal on
that's not
some
the right answer.
I got a good deal on some warped 2x4s from Lowe's, right? So.
That's right. I mean, as a fiduciary, I've got to do what's right for you. So that's
Yeah.
why we don't even want to talk products first. Let's understand you. What's your plan, your retirement look like? Then we'll get into the product piece, because now I can make that fiduciary recommendation because I understand your scenario.
Right. Well, that's red flag number three, Phil, is because not that much information was gathered, right? Very little information gathering is going on because, hey, I can put you in this product because I've seen it 1,000 times. So I'm just going to do it. I don't need to know your details. This is going to work.
Right. Just trust me. Trust me.
Yeah, that's a red flag. No. Okay, look, I mean, I got an electrician coming out to solve a very weird problem that I have. I've talked to 6 other people. They're like, I don't know. I even talked to another electrician. They're like, it doesn't make any sense to me. So now I got to go, get another opinion because I need someone who's going to listen a little bit more and help diagnose a very unique problem that happens all the time in financial planning.
Right. Yeah. And so that's where you need to understand the client's, situation.
Yeah.
And, listen to both parties in it to make sure you're building a plan for them before you go making a recommendation. It's just like going to the doctor, right? I mean, they're hopefully going to do some testing and diagnosis and run through some things before they say, yep, this is what we're going to do.
Time to cut you open.
Yep. No, I've seen this 1,000 times. We got to replace your knee.
Yeah.
That wasn't your knee at all. It was your ankle. I mean, who knows?
That would be bad. Yeah, no, exactly. Well, information is important.
Yeah.
And that's where that communication factor comes in. That's our next red flag on the list, right?
Right.
So if you don't hear from them or there isn't a lot of back and forth or whatever, again, a red flag. And that could kind of lead back to that always in sales mode, right? Because they're just, hey, I'm not making a commission off of this, so I don't really need to talk to you right now.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're not getting communication about your plan, then at that point you have products too. So, I mean, it should be a review of that. And are those still satisfying the requirements of the plan? So kind of that process along the way, that could be a problem, or maybe you are hearing from your advisor, but if every time you hear from them, it's about, hey, I've got this new thing, right? There's this new whatever.
It's a new whiz bang. It's a new whiz bang.
I mean, wait a minute. Why are we making the change? I thought this was the greatest thing for my scenario 3 years ago, but now you're telling me we're moving to this?
Yeah, it's a new doohickey out there.
Why are we doing that? Is that really for me, or what's in it for you?
Understand what their limitations are. It probably sounds like we're beating up on brokers a little bit, Phil, and we're not if that's what you need, right?
Right.
Because that's my last flag to talk about is like there's no tax conversations or there's no Social Security conversation because maybe that's just not what they deal with. So therefore, they're only talking about investments.
Right. And some of that comes back to understanding what you're looking for and what you're comfortable doing. I mean, at the end of the day, when you get into retirement, somebody's got to run the plan, right? So, I mean, if you don't have an advisor that is looking at the big picture, understanding Social Security, understanding taxes, understanding sequence of returns for distributions, all these different factors that come into play, then, if you're just using the broker, so to speak, the investment side of it, right? Well, then you're making those decisions, or the government's making those decisions if you're not making the decision. I mean, at some point, somebody's making a decision.
Yeah. And are they doing a bad job because they never talked to you about these items when you went to a person who doesn't talk about these items, right? So
Right.
find the right person for you, and that's going to go a long way. Now, if you're going to an advisor who, is supposed to be giving you a holistic plan and you never hear about some other things other than investments, certainly a red flag.
The Tax Smart Retiree is your comprehensive guide to mastering tax efficiency for a flourishing retirement. You will find indispensable advice and actionable strategies designed to enhance tax savings, maximize Social Security benefits, protect against market volatility, and develop a customized retirement plan. To get your free ebook, click the link in the show notes of today's episode and download your copy of the Tax Smart Retiree right now.
As you get to different phases, you need somebody that's a specialist, so to speak, in that phase. They understand these aspects. As you get to retirement, it's unfortunately way more complex than most people realize, because there are all these moving parts. There's decisions you're making that are permanent. You can't change them, so you need to know and have a plan up front as you start to go through this process, so that oh, okay, we made this decision because in the long term, it was the right decision. So,
I mean, Phil, is it fair to say that most retirement specialists or planners or advisors, whatever term you want to use, they're looking to build a relationship, not sell a product? Because
yes,
again,
absolutely.
retirement, not the growth or accumulation phase, right? But people who are focused on the retirement side of things, they're looking to build a relationship, and that's over years.
Yeah, and my goal with clients is that long-term relationship. I want to make sure that we built a plan. And it's not going to be perfect up front because things change, right? But we've based on everything we know today, it's the right plan today. And then we revisit it on a regular basis. Once a year, we're having that discussion again. Hey, are we still on track? What's new in your life, right? Because the goal for me in this process is to have the right plan up front so you can make these informed decisions, but then for you to start to gain confidence so you can enjoy retirement. Yeah, so you don't have to worry about, the market's down or the market's up. Oh, I heard this on, they're going to do this to Social Security or whatever it is. You're not having to worry about the minutia because, hey, I've got somebody that's handling that for me. And we have those discussions. If you have those questions, sure, bring them up. Let's kind of walk through them. But at least you're not the one worrying at the end of the day. And I mean, it's funny we're talking about this because I've got a client that's been a long-term client, but she is in a scenario where her mother taught her, well, you never put all your eggs in one basket, right? So you got pieces. So she's got pieces 2 or 3 places. And I mean, I'm managing one piece of it. And, she's trying to talk about, well, we need to do this and that. I'm like, but I don't know these other pieces. So I mean, you've kind of put me in a box. This is what you want me to do. And this is what we're doing. So I can't help you with these other ones unless you want me to look at that and then let's have a discussion on that. So again, it comes back to understanding what role do you want that advisor to fill.
But you got to make sure that you're, having and sharing all that data so that you are trying to optimize and you're giving them the best chance to be successful for you too.
Right.
So that's a big piece of it as well. So at the end of the day, there's red flags out there. Our guts typically do pretty good about a lot of things in life. So if something feels off, maybe listen to it. And that's also why it's, so many advisors also offer ways to get to know them. Podcasts, newsletters, YouTube channels, whatever the case is, and the complimentary consultations, right? Is this person, I've watched a few things, I've listened to a few things, I've read a couple things, whatever. Now I'm going in for the consultation. Is this person the right fit for me? Right. That's going to help you along that path as well. And if you get a weird feeling, go talk to somebody else. That's usually they're complimentary. So with that, that's going to do it for us this month. We're going to wrap up. So we'll be back in December, which is crazy. Have a happy holiday. Depending on when you consume this, no Thanksgiving pun intended. It might be before or after Thanksgiving, but either way, hope that you have a great holiday. And Phil, my friend, hope that you do the same.
You too.
We'll see you next time here on Phil's Tax Hacks and Other Retirement Facts. Don't forget to subscribe to us on Apple, Spotify, and the YouTube. Click down below. We'll see you later.
Phil?
Investment advisory services offered through AFS Wealth Management. The content of this program is provided for informational purposes only and is not a solicitation or recommendation of any investment strategy. Investments and/or investment strategies involve risk, including the possible loss of principal. There is no assurance that any investment strategy will achieve its objectives.